I previously had the similar mindset as the rest of the Chinese people. So I wanted to go to great school, which costs a lot of money, which I cannot afford to. So I work hard to save that money until I don't have faith.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
Welcome to Tulsa Talks, where we have meaningful conversations with local Tulsa residents and also immigrants. Mark comes all the way from China for he and his wife to go to ORU. Mark has been helping teachers and students make a difference in China, and he is actually here going to ORU to become a teacher potentially, as well as still making a difference in China through his digital work. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
So, you told me pre recording that you helped make a difference in people's lives in China by helping them study abroad.
Yes.
And you had a couple of examples of people that were miraculously changed from almost a point of lack of hope
Yep.
to the point where they are thriving now.
Yes.
So you've helped people study abroad. You've got one guy that you told me about that quit high school or quit junior
Junior
high
high.
school
Yeah.
and was out of school for 5 or 6 years.
I think so, like more than 6 years.
And then what happened?
Uh,
How did you help him?
I spent a year with him preparing his language, his English, and all the tests he needs. And he went to college in LA and graduate. When he graduated the college, the community in LA, he went to UCLA, which is great school. And now he's a junior. I think this is third year, so should be a junior. And last year will be a senior, which means he will graduate in a year as a UCLA graduate,
Okay.
undergraduate.
Yeah. So from 12 to maybe 18 years old, he was outside of education, working for his family farm in China.
Yes, working
And
for his family farm. His family owned restaurants, small family business. So he worked so hard. He planted trees. He made roads. So built houses, a lot of family stuff.
yeah.
So he got tired of that.
And then 1 year under your process of helping people, he's graduated high school and he went to a community college. Is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
that
He skipped 6 grades, got his high school education, went to college, community college in California,
yes, community college.
and then goes to UCLA student now.
Yes,
Do you know what he wants to be when he graduates?
I think he's still figuring that out. But he's majoring in I think psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he helped he shared one of I think one of the essays he wrote in the uh, applying essays. He shared the teaching experience that he taught an ADHD kid, a kid who was diagnosed with ADHD and autism. I'm not sure about that, but it's also the kid was also from an immigrant family, so the second generation. But the family still want the Chinese culture to pass by, so he taught him Chinese, but in a creative way, in a way that he didn't suffer from when he was a kid. So he shared that story that makes him to become interested in like helping people with mental problem or with like difficulties in studying in learning were facing their own life. So he majored in this psychology, but for future he's not so sure about that.
Yeah. Let me make sure that I understand. This young man had a problem with learning and he stopped going to school in 6th grade. And then he learned how to learn. and then he's helped others by that same process that he experienced.
Yes, and he also was bullied because he couldn't like do a lot of stuff like school teachers or classmates they could do, but he
Mm.
couldn't.
Hmm.
So he was denied by the group of like kids. We were all facing like we all have faced like bullies in school, especially the weak kids. As a weak kid, so he was suffered a lot. He suffered a lot from being bullied.
But then he was able to mature a little bit working for his family business.
He has to. He had to. He had no choices. He went to other schools, but also failed. And because of this, his mother sent him to a martial arts school to train his like to be physically stronger, to be not bullied.
Yeah,
At least physically can defend himself.
yeah, yeah.
But
And a lot of people, when they go into the martial arts or whatever it is that they go into, I went into powerlifting and bodybuilding at a young age, and I found discipline in that. And a lot of people, when they go into the martial arts, they find discipline and
yes,
centering of themselves.
yes.
So the byproduct of his mom wanting him to be able to find his physical strength might have given him emotional strength at the same time.
I think so. And in the meantime, because of his self discipline, he can also like within a short period of time he can focus. He was addicted to like smartphone games. Like every kid in China, they are so addicted to smartphone games.
Are you saying that they have their face in their camera or their phone just like we do here in the United States?
I don't know. What about
You don't see that going down the street? People walking and looking in their phones instead of looking at each other?
Okay, that's the same. That's the same thing I'm talking about. So, uh, I'm talking about this kind of kid when he was determined to like study in the United States. He deleted all the games on his smartphone and focus on the learning, on his learning. So he can like try to memorize 3 to 500 vocabulary words of vocabulary every day,
Oh, wow. That's a
repeatedly.
lot.
That's a lot. So
That's expansive growth.
yeah, but baby steps first, like 100 for the first month, 1 to 200 for the first month.
Words per day.
No,
Words per month.
words per day. Yeah, words per day.
Words per
100
day.
words per day.
100 words per day added to his vocabulary.
Yes.
That is, yeah,
So
wow.
not all of the kids can do that, but he can because I think he got trained in a martial arts school. So
And what I have observed about people is sometimes when they are hyper focusable,
mhm.
they have that type personality and they have ADHD at the same time. So he was focused on his games, but he was not focused on school. Maybe they weren't going fast enough for him in school to stay focused in school. And when he found that way of learning with his martial arts, of centering himself, then he could find something that really mattered to him to go through life. And because he was a hyper learner, then he could settle into hyper learning something valuable.
I'm not sure if that system like theory works for him, but
It
I
sure
yeah.
sounds like it to me on the surface anyway. 300 words a day of memorization is that normal in your culture?
I think it's not that normal, but it's not that challenging. It's challenging, but not that. The most
Unheard of.
impressive rate was like 700, 800, and within I think when I was in college, there's a very popular thing called memorizing 3,000 words or 20,000 words within 17 days. So,
That might be more words than I know. So you've helped this person transition from um, working for the family into going into UCLA, and you've done this for other people too.
yes, um, sometimes I helped, but sometimes I failed. So, uh, it's not.
No, failure is not an option.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've helped some people do this, and you still do this
Yeah, I'm still doing this.
for people in China
Yes.
because you're not working in the United States.
Yes.
With your process of helping people become what they want to be. What does that look like? Take us through a normal process of how you help people do that.
Um,
You find them somehow, or they find you.
yeah, because I've been doing like I told you last time. Like I had a agency, training center, sort of an agency help Chinese students to study abroad, especially in United States. But mostly, most of our students were like top students. They were aiming for top 30, top 50 schools, at least top 100. They were really good at their like all subjects, almost all subjects. So they can like ace in the exams, ace in the interviews, and get admission from like great schools. I've been doing this for 8 7 years until the pandemic hit, so I couldn't do it, and I got depressed for a year or, or so. I stayed at home. I didn't walk out of my living room because I had a sofa bed. I make it a bed and watch the show and play on my smartphone all the time without doing anything. I was really depressed.
What
And
did you learn through that? How did you come out of that?
uh,
How did you come out of that depression? What step did you take to come out of that depression?
I think a lot of elements, a lot of aspects helped. One is I think God put me into the process, into Great Depression, in because I can understand what depression feels like, so I can emphasize emphasize with others who are depressed. So when I stay time with when I stay spend time stay with the kids who are depressed, I can understand what they're feeling.
You can
So
relate to that,
I can
yes.
relate to them. So I won't force them to do what their parents or their teachers force them to do. So I understand they have to take their pace to digest things, to to figure out what they really want, to face the things that they don't want in their life, but they have to. So I think God helped me out, and mentally and spiritually and physically. One of my old college classmates contacted me one day. He's a karate trainer. Uh, to be honest with you, I think this is funny because we were majoring in telecommunication engineering like 20 years ago. And this guy, the first day, he was so addicted to karate training, and he made himself a his body, sort of every parts of his body became a weapon. So hard to, so he can use it very well. And after like 10 years of graduation from school, he's still doing karate. He's a professional trainer. And one day he said, "You want to come out and grab a drink and chat?" And I came out. That's the first time that I came out after half a year. I had I used to had a long hair, a ponytail, because of not going out to get my hair cut. And after chatting with my friend, uh, I was curious. All of a sudden, I was curious why. What pushed you into doing this one thing for more than a decade? And he's been doing this for two decades. I was so curious about that, and he just invited me to, like, you can sweat a little bit, join the kids. And I tried once, and for the next coming 1.5 years, that's the only reason I went out home to get out to hang out with people. So that a little I think a little bit by little bit helped build my physical, and combine that combined with spiritually, I was cured. And all of a sudden, when I just finished training, a previous students of mine, which also was the sister, elder sister of the kid I tell you who studied in UCLA right now, uh, she tries to find her little brother a teacher, a training center.
Mm.
She asked me if I'm still doing that. I said I was depressed a lot, and amazing things happened this time. She said she was depressed a lot as well, because when she was moving from, I don't know, from the east to the west coast, uh, when when I think when she was a sophomore, um, she thought it was a better school in LA, but she got cheated by her boyfriend, and the pandemic hit, and a lot of things happened. He was severely depressed, and one day he was uh, crying in a Uber, and the Uber driver, which was a elder uncle, uh, he he was curious, little young girl, why you're crying? Can I pray for you? And then she somehow she replied yes. She accepted, and the Uber driver prayed for her. He prayed like, dear God, I don't know what this lady is suffering from, but you know, so please heal her or something like that. And she believed in God. And then I told her I was a Christian as well, but I was depressed. So I had no job right now because I didn't go to work for like 2 years. Um, if you like, if you look, if you would like to, I would love to help your younger brother with his study, and then amazing things happen. And now they had a the youngest one. They're uh the last time I'm talking about, I'm looking for a Christian school. I'm looking for his younger brother to find a school to go into.
So you helped him get his high school education and get applied to a school?
Yes.
Is he currently going to a school?
Uh, I'm trying to.
You're working with him right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully he can come this summer. I'm not sure about that, but the headmaster said there's gonna be an interview, and if he, because he's only fifth grade, so if he passed that interview, he can get in. For children, it's easy to acquire the language ability here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he plans to be coming to the United States to go through our regular school system?
Not
Uh,
regular. I think it's private school.
private schools.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, he already applied. I think it's Victory Christian School
Okay.
in Tulsa,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is the cheapest one.
Okay.
It's like one, I think 12,000 or 13,000 per
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
So
Victory Christian's right down the road from where you're going to be going to school.
yes, exactly. So that's why his mother, because I work with both the youngest ones, brother and sister. So his mother has great faith in me and in God. He yeah, that's what she thinks.
So you're making a difference in people's lives regularly to help them become more educated, and you're living your own life through challenges, and you have a similar life to the fellow that's going to UCLA. If the way I see it, both of you found a physical sport to get your bodies moving and probably somewhat of a community atmosphere of encouragement.
Yes.
And you guys took the next steps in your lives because you had done something to take the first steps, and then miraculous things happen. That's quite encouraging.
Yeah. But previously I wasn't like that. I put money first, I put family first, I put a lot of things first. But not like that. I dare not to quit my job in China, and to a lot of people, this is like wasting your time and the resources you have already had in 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 where we came from. So it's like uh, very, yeah, plenty of uncertainties facing us in the front. So,
But you just shared where your certainty comes from,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're good with that.
Yes.
And you have a pleasant demeanor through this, as far as the few times that we've interacted with each other, and quite inspirational. Telling my wife about you the day after we met you at Toastmasters, and it was like, this guy, he's inspirational because he's come to the United States. He really doesn't know exactly how his life is going to be resourced. He has a pregnant wife that's going to be
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, maybe having their second baby.
Yeah.
And they're just attaching themselves to the adventure, like I talk about attaching myself to the adventure of interacting with people intentionally and loving them with what we have to give. You, all that being said, uh, what is maybe the biggest thing that you've realized about life for yourself as you help these other people go abroad and get educated from China? So you are doing it yourself now.
Yeah. I actually had this idea like 2 decades ago. I I went to a not so good school in China, so I lack confidence in saying that a lot because people are tagged or people are classified by which school you went to. So the school that I went to wasn't a good one.
What does that mean? Did you go? I don't know about the college, or excuse me, I don't know about the
Um, uh,
school system in China.
but it's
You're talking
similar.
about public school?
Yeah, universities in China mostly like public schools, so it's different from like United States. But the I think the people's values are different from the United States because for example, if you don't go to Ivy League schools in the United States, imagine that on the counterpart of China, if you don't go to the Ivy Leagues, so you go to the
Regular schools.
yeah
You go
that
to ORU or
yeah
OSU or
yeah that's
OU,
bad schools.
not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay. That are the bad schools. So in China, people have this kind of attitude towards which school you go to. So I went to a not so good one. So I've always wanted to like go to a better school in the United States or in the United Kingdoms or any like English speaking countries. So, but like
So if you go to ORU or OU or
it's
OSU
not a good option.
in the United States, you go back to China with that education. Is that a good option or a bad
No,
option?
that's a bad option because you have to, like I said, you have to go to the Ivy Leagues, the top 30s, the top
No
50s.
matter where in the world. If
Yes,
you're not in
that's
the
the
top 30 or 50
you're
schools,
a failure. You're sort of failure.
okay.
That's the attitude they have. Also in the job market, because like there are every year there are a bunch of people from graduates from Ivy Leagues, great schools. So in every industry, in every field. Uh, this is not wise choice to go to your ORU
For China, but it
for
might not be a
China.
bad idea to go to
For
ORU to stay here.
yes, so different. You see, this is different mindset. So I previously had the similar mindset as the rest of the Chinese people. So I wanted to go to great school, which costs a lot of money, which I cannot afford to. So I work hard to save that money until I don't have faith to walk out and go outside to quit all the jobs that I have like all the achievements that I have already achieved.
Hmm.
So it was a challenge for me, and I finally quit the idea to study abroad. Even though I'm in the industry of helping students to study abroad. but I like the faith to step out.
Mm.
Me personally. So
But 2 decades later, you do not lack the faith to step out.
yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
And God's timing is cool.
Yeah.
And just because people might be viewing today, or just because people that are viewing today might be dealing with that in their life, then relax, meet yourself where you are. Know that when you are to take that step, you'll take that step. Somebody will come into your life, they'll get you physically active or active somehow, and they will break that bondage that you're experiencing. And I've actually thought about doing this, what we're doing right now, basically a decade ago.
I
And I continued with my business because I knew that it wasn't time. And I actually started to do something else similar to this, but I never invited anybody. But it was good practice of getting that movement and that into myself. Maybe you had the same thing where you were helping people go abroad, helping people grow abroad, helping people grow abroad. And then when it was time for you to, quote, pull the trigger on a deal, then you have complete confidence in pulling that trigger and you're here now and you're at peace with that. Whereas if you had pulled the trigger 2 decades ago, you might not have been okay.
Yes, I think so. So God's timing. I think every like everything in your life has a purpose. Um, the the hesitation I had 20 years ago contracts with the confidence I have right now make I think makes me realize how precious God's love in our life is.
Yeah.
I would like to pass that to others, to people surround me and my family. So that's exactly I would like to be here to be one of your program because I'm witnessing what you're doing is the things that I want to do. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And just because you're not to do what it is that you think you should do one day doesn't mean that you're not of value to you and those around you exactly where you are. God has an amazing adventure that if we're patient with ourselves and others and we step boldly where we should, then eventually what it is that you think you should be doing that you're not might actually be timing for you to do that sometime in the future. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming today.
Thank you for having me here.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?